But the world will soon know the truth. All the Warframes and Inaros have gotten massive buffs and nerfs through the course of 2025. And I wanted to give my opinion on the Warframes going into 2026, but before I get into the tier list, there is context you need to know with how I'm going to be ranking these. That context is Atlas is D tier. Why? Well, Atlas tries to tank with his rubble but can't actually tank that well with it and ends up dying. Ashe is one of the frames with a problem that a lot of frames have. D tier. His stats are so bad that he has to resort to hiding invisible so he doesn't take a hit, and his invisibility is so short that it will get you killed. At least Dislocation from Inaros fixes that problem. Banshee is a frame that does big damage, but the problem is that she dies so fast that you can't even pull off the damage unless you are in bleed out. This Warframe needs a complete rework as she can't make use of her abilities at all in her current state. Baruuk likes to cosplay as the Sky Killer by dodging bullets and pretending like he's tanking them. While I respect the attempt, it still would never compare to the God King himself. Caliban just sucks. There, I said it. They crucified Jesus because he was right. Don't repeat history. Get in there, you smelly void lugger. Chroma is a decent frame. The dragon frame has quite good tanking and his abilities are good damage dealers. Honestly, if the God King wasn't a frame, he might be higher, but for now he's in C tier. Ember is insane. If you have never seen an Ember in action, do yourself a favor and build her. Her fireball is deceptively strong and her fourth ability generates so much energy that you can spam all of her abilities nuking rooms at every level. It's no wonder she is so often placed so close to the God King on different incorrect tier lists. Raw power is hard to hide, and her immolation meter makes her super tanky too. Truly one of the best Warframes in the game right now. S tier. Equinox is a bootleg Ember, but that's not a bad thing. Night form is terrible though. A tier. Excalibur tries to copy the theories.
I'm talking Excalibur, shut the fuck up.
D tier. Frost has the snow globes which get rid of the need of tanking, so he's a good support frame as he turns off rooms for you. B tier. Gara is basically just Frost but glass so she can be next to him. Garuda hides behind invulnerability frames but dies if she gets shot when she is getting her energy back. Still, it's better than Banshee. D tier. Gauss has shield recharge in his kit, making him the first shield tank on the list. He also S tier. This asshole ate my lunch, so I won't talk about him today. Gyre is a bad frame that can't do damage. Gyre is a bad frame that can't do damage. Did you know that Gyre is a bad frame? Did you know she can't do damage? At least she looks cool. C tier. Harrow's best trait is putting condemn on Inaros. He tries to hold a candle by having invincibility on his fourth, but then it goes on a cooldown and then Harrow dies. Immortal my ass. Hildryn is our first good health tank. Arcane Persistence really took Hildryn to a new level. S tier. Hydroid can take his goldfish out for a walk, and the goldfish is usually better than himself. Since he spawns the goldfish, I'll give him A tier. So, you want my thoughts on the God King? Your mortal perception of Inaros is a flawed stain on your bloodline, as if you for some reason thought he would be in a low tier. You might be in for a reality check. You see, I have conceived and attempted every single possibility with the Fear Eater, and gained access to power you would have deemed impossible. What is other Warframe's limits, is only a fraction of what the God King is capable of. Nearly all of YouTube seems to unanimously agree that the Sky Killer is a low-tier worthless frame, and that he somehow doesn't do damage or all he does is tank. Not once have they ever thought, am I in Lord Inaros' favor? Will the God King allow me to use a percentage of his strength? Will he grant my brashness with shields? Of course not, and thus, they cope by placing him in a tier that one can only laugh about. Not me, for I wield the steel path-shredding Kuva Nukao, and the room-clearing Kuva Brahma, and his favorite, Glaive Prime. With these tools in place, Inaros gains a new life, something far beyond your Inaros does. When Inaros favors you, the game becomes a joke. Inaros is so far beyond all other Warframes that it doesn't even feel right to place him in the same tier as anything other than his own throne at the top, to rule the rest that are below him. Ivara has the same problem as Ashe, except she drains all her energy away and dies because she forgot to put a suppressor on her weapon. The difference is that Harrow is infinite invisibility, but then you are hiding pretending you are immortal when if you showed your face there would be a revive option on it. Khora does the same thing as Frost and Gara, but hangs them instead. Did you know she is a loot frame? B tier. Lavos doesn't have energy, so you can spam his 2, a tier. Limbo does what Baruuk did, but in a more slimy way. He hides in another dimension and then says, "Look at me, I can't die," until the big blast crewmate comes over and he finds out how killable he really is. Just take everything I said about Ivara, in he goes. Mag is really good at catching bullets in her bubble and throwing them back, B tier. Mesa tries to pretend that she has scarab armor by becoming immune to bullets. Unfortunately it is not scarab armor and she will die to a love tap, D tier. Mirage does okay damage, but is utterly outclassed by Chroma, C tier. Nekros has amazing utility with Soul Punch, as it's not only a powerful damage dealing ability, but it can also revive players with the augment, S tier. Nezha has the gall to try to be immortal by copying Scarab Armor's status immunity. He's not as good though, as enemies can hit through his stupid little ring. Oh. Poor Nidus. Where do I start? Well, firstly, his passive doesn't do much for him as you burn through them so fast. You are locked into stomping a corner all day. His 2 needs an augment to be recast. His maggots don't do much for him. You can't get the best survivability out of him if you are using Link to buff allies. But worst of all, he has no shields. Not only does he have no shields, he has almost nothing to save him. Playing Nidus is like playing an unblessed, Kuva Nukao-less, Brahma-less, Glaive Prime-less, shieldless Inaros. But even then Inaros would still win thanks to his amazing abilities and kit. Inaros is just so much better than Nidus, it's silly to even compare them. Nova doesn't need to worry about tanking because the enemies are too slow, at least until you accidentally hold cast and get killed. Nyx is a Warframe with an ability called Chaos. I like Chaos. S tier. Oberon just got a huge nerf to his kit, and he doesn't even want most of his abilities anymore. All Octavia does is spam crouch, nothing else. She has 0 other abilities, none. Absolutely none. Protea lets you go back in time to before she took damage, a coward's way of tanking. D tier. Imagine needing an ability just to tank. Yep, Revenant is that bad. Rhino is the first Warframe on the list to hard rely on this ugly fake shield. He can also stomp the ground, but only bad Warframes tend to have that kind of ability. Saryn makes her weapons do more damage. Big deal. Ability damage is better, D tier. Fucking poser, stealing the God King's passive, who does he think he is? Nothing but a fake, awful Warframe. Styanax gives creep chance to weapons with his passive, pretty nice, B tier. Titania's ability Thermal Sunder is really strong for relic missions, a tier. Trinity likes to tell everyone that she has found the secret to Scarab Armor, and that she has recreated some of its power. Shame nobody has verified it or confirmed her delusions. Thank the God King for the Valkyrie work, really saved this frame from being terrible. It's great that she can finally do damage and her passive is really nice. B tier. Vauban has okay crowd control, his 4 is all he really is though, B tier. Volt is okay, especially with the shocking speed augment, C tier. Yet another Loki Ivara clone. Oh well, no complaints, right? Wisp is a frame with an identity crisis. What is the point of giving yourself a bunch of health if you are going to just jump and hide anyway? This monkey has a passive that tried to be a contender to Inaros, but doesn't even come close. If you need 3 lives, you are not immortal, you're just good at dying. Zaku is really good with armor stripping, which is essential for Steel Path, a tier. Yreli is lots of fun with the K-Drive, too bad she really sucks, D tier. Zephyr copied Mesa's homework and made her own sting Khora that makes bullets fly away. Unfortunately, one explosion is all it takes to clip her wings. Kulevo has the same, unforgivable problem that Nidus, and only Nidus has, not having shields. However, Kulevo has the fake shields and uses it to gate better than Nidus ever will. Still, once its duration runs out, he's just as killable as any other frame. Corvex might be one of the worst frames in the game. Welcome to my Pokemon Legends Z Mega Evolution tier list. This will be based on their competitive value mostly, so if that annoys you, click off. First up is Mega Greninja. Nidus tier. He can't be good hanging upside down like that, it's really bad for his health and it could be effective. I just found out I had to build him for range. Dante likes to make loads of fake shields for him and his allies. Maybe Nidus can live something with it. Jade scares off Stalker, which is great as I don't care about the consequences of my actions. A tier. Cope May's buffs take too long to get up. Man, she is a terrible frame. If only there were a guide on how this Warframe works. But I don't believe that will ever actually happen, as there is nobody who would put themselves through the tedious. I'm not repeating myself again. In you go Loki number 5. Look, I get it, everyone wants to be like Inaros, but needing abilities to do what he does naturally only shows how weak you really are. Honestly, I forgot Temple was a Warframe, probably is the same as Octavia, boring. Araxi might be confused. She goes invisible and wants to health tank. If she wants to health tank so bad, why even have shields? Someone please talk some sense into her. Noko likes to brag to everyone about having a similar passive as Inaros. Shame another Warframe already plagiarized him first. Uriel tries to be Titania, but is simply worse because he doesn't have thermal sunder.
This is the future.
And there you have it, the most objective, unbiased, correct tier list for Warframe. I don't think there are any mistakes on this. It wasn't an easy list to make, and there were some tough decisions that had to be made, but I think this has to be the most conclusive, objectively correct tier list that Warframe has. I also should say that a certain someone didn't bother stopping me throughout this whole video, so I suppose that only means one thing. This tier list was possible thanks to Harrow. Say thank you to Harrow.
Let no one deceive themselves. Should anyone think he is wise in his age, let them become a fool.